You're listening to the Law Broadcast Network from Radio Law Studios. This is the Law Firm Marketing Podcast, the radio show completely dedicated to getting your firm more clients online. Now, to answer your questions on what your law firm needs to be doing to stay alive online right now, here's your host, Dan Toombs.
Welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Podcast, proudly brought to you by Australia's leading professional services marketing company, Grow Your Firm. My name is Dan Toombs, and it's great to have you with us on this first edition of our fortnightly program, which will bring to you the world's leading authorities on law firm marketing, and of course, guests with specialist skills on how to sell, how to best use social media applications, how to generate content, how to integrate successful email campaigns, and the list just goes on. In the coming weeks, your professional service firm, be it an accounting or a law practice, is going to get some real benefit out of this podcast, in particular, the wisdom of our guests. We'll also bring to you the very latest relevant news to both marketing your firm online and offline. Just a couple of housekeeping matters first. You can access this podcast via RSS feed at www.lawfirmmarketingpodcast.com and on iTunes. And you can also get your daily dose of law firm marketing tips by just subscribing at www.lawfirmmarketing.net.au. Now, don't forget the .au or you'll end up on a search engine optimization site. Now, if you've got already lost, then all the links I've just mentioned are available at www.growyourfirm.com.au. Again, don't forget the .au. We'll also be answering your marketing questions on the show. So if you have a question in relation to marketing your professional service firm, then email them to questions@lawfirmmarketingpodcast.com and we'll answer them or have them answered by our featured guests. Well, what a cracker of a show we've got for you today. Larry Bodine, unquestionably one of the world's most renowned law firm marketing experts, is joining us from Chicago. But before we get to it, let's cap off on some important news. If you're not aware of it already, Google Plus One has been launched, probably not to a great deal of fanfare, but nevertheless, if it gets some traction, it may well significantly impact upon your firm's website. What is it? Well, it's Google's attempt to integrate the Facebook I like button. So, in other words, if you've got a Google Plus One integrated on your website, then it allows users to essentially plus one you or give you their vote or recommendation. In Google's words, you give a site or a piece of content your stamp of approval. Now, where it gets really serious is that Google have said that they may pay considerable attention or heed to this in ranking your firm in search engine results. Again, it's just another reiteration of Google saying over and over again, content is everything, and the sites that will be well positioned will be those who create great content consistently. So our advice here at Grow Your Firm is to integrate Plus One on your own site and your blog platforms as well. It's dead easy. The other take-home message, of course, is that if your firm isn't generating good content or doesn't have a content strategy, then it probably should start sooner rather than later. For many law firms across the world, when considering who they should consult in relation to marketing, Larry Bodine is it. Larry has advised in excess of 250 law firms over the last 20 years. Larry's advised firms from a 3,000 lawyer global law firm to a 25 lawyer trial boutique. He was the Director of Communications of Sidley, Austin, Brown and Wood, based in Chicago for 8 years in the 1990s. He has 15 years experience as a journalist, serving as editor and publisher of the American Bar Association Journal and other news publications. Larry, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the Law Firm Marketing Podcast. Larry, where did it all start for you?
It started for me when I began work at the Chicago law firm. Actually, it's a global law firm, Sidley Austin, 20 years ago, and I was brought on as their marketing director. I served in that role for 8 years, and then at the turn of the century, in the year 2000, I decided I would start my own business and build up my own equity, and began my own independent marketing firm, and so it's been underway for 11 years now, and I've really enjoyed every minute of it.
Larry, over those years, you must have witnessed and continue to witness a tectonic shift, particularly in relation to the impact of online technology on law firms. Has that been the case?
The tectonic shift is a very accurate term. When I began, back in the 1990s, the leading marketing techniques were brochures and event papers and, event planning and paper newsletters, and marketing was very much in vogue. And it's completely changed. The emphasis that I see now is all on business development. The attorneys are coming to the marketers, and they're basically saying, I want you to give me leads, direct me into industries where there are businesses that I can meet people. And one of the things I do to earn a livelihood is I train attorneys on how to start a business development conversation and how to actually close new business. So it's completely different.
Given this tectonic shift, there must be some discomfort from some of the attorneys that you work with who, in essence, have had this huge change thrust upon them.
Yes, that's very true. I have yet to find an attorney, including myself. I practiced law. I've yet to find one who went to law school so that they could become salespeople. In fact, they generally went to law school so they would never have to sell. However, there's really no way that you can have a law practice unless you have clients. And it's become so competitive now, Dan, that, it used to be you would just do good work and the clients would give you more, and those days are gone. And then, it became competitive, and that's when marketing started. And it's gotten so over-the-top competitive now that in many cases the only way you can get a client is to take the business away from another firm. And what that has really forced the attorneys to learn are all of the social interactive skills that are required to go out of the office, meet people, and start business conversations. And, the good news is, attorneys are smart people and they're quick on the uptake. And if you can explain to them that business development is just a set of learnable techniques, like learning the elements of a tort case, that then many of them become, very skilled at it.
And is this why, Larry, that a predominant focus for you when you're working with firms generally is the development of individual marketing strategies for the attorneys in the practice?
Well, I found over the years that business generally comes from four sources, and I tell the attorneys to just take out 4 pieces of blank paper, and that's how you compose the plan. Page 1 is current clients. That's the easiest place to generate a new file. But